Hey everybody, just thought I would share a project that I'm doing. I'm going to make some clay, but not out of earth, as much as I would love to get clay from earth. I don't have that available right now. So it's made out of baking soda, cornstarch, and water. And then you cook that on the stove and then roll it out and then cut out shapes that you want, and I'll kind of go over that as I go through this. So you need, excuse me, 2 cups of baking soda. So here's one. And I'm using baking soda that I would normally use for like wash and that, so it's not aluminum free because I'm not eating it, so it's okay. So 2, and then 1 cup of cornstarch. Almost 1. It's a little more than 1. And then 1.5 cups of water. And once again, I use filtered water normally to drink, but this can be regular water, doesn't matter. And then we are going to put this on the stove and cook it until it looks like mashed potatoes. You are going to want to make sure that you got it on like a medium heat and that you're stirring constantly, so it will start coming together pretty quickly. Together like mashed potatoes. I am also adding, you don't have to do this, but some essential oils. Once again, you don't have to do this. I'm going to want to let it cool for a little bit until we can handle it. Okay, so it has cooled down a lot. I am wearing gloves because the essential oil that I used in here has cinnamon and I don't want it to burn my hands. Use a rolling pin to get it rolled out better. You want to do about, I would say, like 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. Alright. And the easiest way to do this is with a cookie cutter. You can do all kinds of shapes. I'm wanting to do stars. I do not have a cookie cutter with stars, and I am all for not buying excess things that I don't need. So I actually cut out a template and then put it on cardboard. You could just do a cookie cutter. If you're doing cookie cutters, just go around and do it. It's going to be a lot quicker than the way I'm doing it, so I'm not going to tape the whole thing. But also don't forget to, so in here I have like a little hole, but you don't have to do that obviously with the cookie cutter, but make sure that you do put a hole in it if it's something that you're wanting. So I'm going to make like a star garland. If you don't need a hole to thread it in, you do not need to do that, but don't forget to do that before you bake it, because otherwise it's going to be next to impossible to do that. So I'm also going to experiment and make some beads to string on with it. So I'm just taking some of the dough, making it into the shape that I'm wanting, like a circle, and then I'm using just this plastic needle that I have from knitting And I'm making sure and making a hole through both sides of it and going through like one side and then the other and kind of rubbing it around so that I then get a hole. All right, so you are going to want to preheat your oven to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And I put it on parchment paper. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. It's definitely leaving some moisture. I might need to flip them part way through the process, but I did put parchment paper down. But I'm going to get these in the oven, and they would take about 2 hours in a 175 degree oven. All right, so they have been baked at 175. They took a little bit longer, some of them, because I think I had them too thick. Some of the thinner ones only took about 2 hours, maybe 3. Some of the bigger ones took longer, 4 or 5 hours. The beads turned out well. They have the holes still in them, the different shapes. I definitely like having the scent of the essential oil in it. I don't think I would have done all of them like that. I would have divided the dough in partial sections and just would have done essential oil only in that one. I think they turned out really well. I'll show you a couple of other things that I'm going to be trying with these, as well as the finished product. So a couple of tips and tricks. So I had tried on these 4 right here, these 4 colors. I painted them before it baked. And these I painted after, and there's no difference at all, so it doesn't really matter whether you do it before or after. It still turns out relatively the same. That plastic needle to make the holes, you could also use a skewer or any kind of, anything that can poke through. I would recommend that you turn and poke it through both sides, because I noticed when I poked it just from one side, the other side wasn't as deep. Definitely I would use a cookie cutter, and I would use parchment on both your pan, and then I would take part way through, I'd take the parchment off, but I would definitely use parchment when rolling. It made it so much easier to use parchment when cutting out the shapes. They pulled up so much easier and they didn't disfigure. So that would be my one tip that I didn't really say at the beginning. Definitely use parchment. Way easier to use cookie cutters or any shapes that you can cut out. So these were done with like a lid, and they turn out way more consistent and nice on the edge compared to me cutting with a knife and that. But it still turned out okay. And on to the finished product.